Welcome to the channel, Gaming Army. We've got a couple of great drops coming your way today featuring the Charger. Our first drop, compliments of Major PETA, finds us playing HPG Manifold Classic. He is in his Charger. It is a Charger 1A1, and it looks like it's outfitted with 2 large pulse lasers, 5 medium pulse lasers, and a top speed of about 80 kph. The Major used his speed advantage to put a lot of his firepower up into that center high ground position and successfully blunt the enemy push for that all-important high ground. Unfortunately, looks like he's not getting a lot of support, and he wisely backs off, rejoins the rest of his team more on the second tier, but he is keeping an eye on this high ground in the center, trying to keep the enemy from overrunning it. However, Charlie has pushed up. That is an enemy assault, and it's a Victor with an AC-20 and 3 SRM-6 with Artemis, so that definitely is something to keep an eye on, and you don't want him to be able to step forward and start raining shots on your teammates. So he's wisely using the ramps, doing some peeking and poking, and delivering alpha strike after alpha strike just to keep the enemy honest. And now it looks like some enemy skirmishers and lights are making a push through the team's backfield, and he manages to find this assassin running through his formation. So he's going to lay down some fire on this, alternating his large pulses and medium pulses. It is a bit toasty, especially if you put out an alpha with that many pulse lasers, but it's a lot of firepower for a mech to eat, especially a medium mech like an assassin. Now, unfortunately, there is a dervish up there raining LRM-5s, and they're more annoying than damaging, but the Major has already taken battlefield damage from other units, so he has to get into cover and stop the rain of the LRM-5s, or eventually they will poke through his armor, which is looking pretty weak. So now he uses his speed to come at the enemy from an unexpected angle, and he manages to find a Timberwolf. Looks like the Timby is under pressure from some of his teammates, and he's managed to come at him from a slightly different angle. I don't think the Timberwolf realizes that he's being pushed by the Charger off his left flank, and that clears the enemy off the top high ground, which is a huge strategic advantage to have on this map. And now he's managed to find a Hellbringer. Hellbringer has shut himself down. The Major's going to capitalize on that and take his left side torso as well. So now the Hellbringer is down a lot of firepower and has an open CT. There's a Direwolf stuck on the ramp, and he is just eating shots from every different direction, and it looks like the Major is going to go after him. The Hellbringer either is down or has dropped to another position, but this Direwolf definitely needs to go as well, and he's got his back to the Major, and he definitely helps himself to a kill on that unsuspecting Direwolf. Score is 11-4, and it looks like Hotel the Gargoyle is the last of the enemy units to be swept up, and he is running for the basement. Major is following the Thanatos down. Unfortunately, there's a bit of blocking going on, so he can't bring his pulses to bear just yet, but they're going to push it into the basement, and between the two of them, they manage to take out the Gargoyle and finish this drop. Switching over to our end screen, the Major winds up with 2 kills, 3 KMDDs, 662 damage done. Switching over to our next drop, this finds us playing skirmish mode on Vitric Station, and inspired by the Major's performance, I have brought my Charger to the battlefield as well, and blew out the mothballs, dusted it off with a slightly different approach than what the Major took. My Charger is still the 1A1 chassis, but I have it outfitted with 4 large lasers, 2 in each torso. My top speed is, let's call it 81.5 kph. So basically, what you need to keep in mind on this particular chassis is it's not a super tanky assault, but it is a super speedy assault. It is very fast. So regardless of your loadout, this mech can get around the battlefield in and out of different positions very, very quickly, sometimes faster than what the enemy is anticipating. So this makes it a very capable striker for exploiting weaknesses on enemy formations. It also makes this an excellent quick responder. So if you're on the left side of your formation and you start getting pushed to the right, this mech can very easily reposition itself into the trouble spot to bring additional firepower and potentially shut down an enemy push. So keep that in mind, and don't overlook the Charger just because, you know, it's not the beefy Atlas or, you know, something of that nature. So jumping back into the action on this one, we have managed to stir up quite the hornet's nest here around Delta 4, and there is a rifleman who is very stubbornly poking at us, but I see his center torso is weak. Now it's open, and I want to capitalize on that and do some more damage before he can pull back out. And now it's just a question of looking for the right position and opportunity. Again, I've got 4 large lasers, so that does give me lots of range to play with, and I've got speed so that I can reposition myself into better firing positions on the board. Now, I've caught an enemy unit trying to hook up with his teammate there behind Delta 4. They're using that for cover, and I see him trying to get around the side to the right, and that is a huntsman, so I've got to keep an eye on him. And the assault mech that was with him is backing off, and he is fully exposed in the open, so we'll get as many shots in on him as we can. In fact, we will take the kill as well. And a second assault is peeking us from across the way. We will lay down some suppressing fire on him, and I see a stalker up on the high ground. So this is a target-rich environment, but only if you don't screw it up. I was expecting that light mech to re-peak, so I pre-fired, and he dropped instead. But that's okay. That's okay. It was worth the try. Had he re-peaked, he would have eaten a lot of damage. So anyway, looks like the enemy units are now more consolidated towards Charlie 3, and at this point, that assault on the other side, he's behind cover. I'm going to drop down into the trench line here. I'm going to use my speed to reposition and possibly get into a flanking area in the enemy's backfield. So I'm going to push forward here. I'll take a couple of pot shots on the Battlemaster up on the high ground, let my team know that he's coming, and then just keep pushing through the trench area, up and out. I've got to be careful now because I'm exposed, but I need to find the enemy formation. I know they were over here at Charlie 3, and I'm looking at the mini-map, and I see there is something behind me, but it is behind and above, and that is the stalker from earlier. And here comes the Arctic cheetah that we were trying to do some damage on. He's hitting the jump jets going vertical, but that's going to cost him staying out in the open up on the high ground, and we take his left leg, and now he's in a world of trouble. And I've got to watch out because the stalker is looking down my way, trying to focus me. His side torso is open. We managed to take his one side torso. His mech is under pressure now, so I think we can move on. Just checking to see. I believe my teammates have taken down the Arctic cheetah, so I don't have to worry about being shot in the back. And I need to continue my push towards Charlie 3. Again, that was the last known position of a couple of enemy units, and I think that is the stalker up above us still, and there's something down here in the low ground, pushing Marauder, and it looks like an enemy assault. In fact, there are multiple enemy units. I wasn't quite expecting that. I was expecting 1, not 3. This could go very, very badly as I'm now being pushed by a Marauder. I do manage to open that left torso. I'm trying to focus it and take that left torso down, but he is putting up a good fight and manages to take me down before I can get the kill. So let's stick with our teammates here, see if they can pull out the win. They should. It is 9-5, and unless the enemy can mount a heroic comeback, I think we've got this one pretty much in the bag. Most of their mechs are pretty beat up from the look of it, and it looks like my teammates are finishing off the Annihilator from before, and the Marauder who killed me is under lots of pressure, and there goes that left torso that I was trying to take out. That's where the SRM-6s were that were doing so much damage to my mech. My teammates avenge me. They managed to get the kill. Good for them. It's 11-6, and they're just going to finish this one out, hunting down this little huntsman who has been legged. And is that the huntsman from the very beginning of the match? It must be. He survived all that time. Switching over to the end screen on this one, we wind up with 1 kill, 8 assists, 667 damage done. Very balanced to the Major's performance.